Okay, let's get started. And today I'm going to talk about Nova, because Nova right now is a super hot topic in the crypto SECBIT community. And this talk is from a historical view, say where the Nova comes from, and the principle of the Nova. Okay, it's about me. Okay. Okay. First of all, let's see the history of the recursive. So, for example, we want to prove a sequence of commutation, right? To compute from Z0 to Z1, Z2, all the way to the Zn. You know, probably using at each step, the computation will use a witness, some secret input for each step. So it's a kind of n-step computation, right? And we want to build a dictionary proof for that sequence of computation. So naive approach is to build a huge circuit, all-in-one circuit, and put n copy of F circuit, F subcircuit into that R circuit, right? To eventually prove and generate the proof pi. Okay, so probably 10 years ago, there was an approach called the recursive snark. Kind of divide the whole computation, the sequence of computation, into multiple steps, and for each step, we can use a Z-snar to prove pi, proving the correctness of the computation at each step. And the next step, we verify the computation, the incremental computation, as well as the validity of the proof pi generated at the last step. So then we can, from that pattern that we call the recursive snark. So I think the advantage of this this approach that actually is we always use small circuit to prove a long sequence of computation, right? But here there's a requirement for the STAR scheme. Its verifier should be full-fledged. I mean, we have to write the verifier algorithm by using circuit. And so the verifier algorithm should be sublinear. Otherwise, we can use that recursive snark. Yeah, I think 10 years ago, quite a snark scheme, to be used is very limited. Probably only Pinocchio protocol. And there was a big breakthrough in 2019. And the ZK team published a paper called the Hello paper. And they proposed a so-called accumulation scheme. So their initial purpose was that they want to build a recursive snark instead of using a sublinear verifier. At that time they want to use Sonic or Bulletproof as the ZK as actually they are not ZK to use that ZKP to build proofs. But here, the problem actually is that for verifier, for some people or they have two parts of algorithm in the verifier. First one is the linear part. Linear part is the cost ON computation, and the other part is the picking part, log n. And our accumulate scheme purpose is to reduce that linear part from ON to 1. So to make that accumulate, make that recursive register usable, available. So the idea actually is that we still use a circuit for each step of single computing, and the verifier for the linear part of the verifier, we just prove it by some oracle. By oracles. Oracle means O1, no cost at all. But when we want to realize the oracles, consist of a bunch of queries. So we lift the query from the circuit outside. And then at each step, we accumulate that queries into one. So that's called the accumulation scheme. That is the costly computation in verifier. We can leave them outside and accumulate step by step. Eventually, we accumulate all the oracle queries in the end. Finally, we just use the decider to fill the query and verify to verify final accumulation. Probably by ON or verifier, but it's okay because the steps can be long, and we only verify the positive part of the verified again. So the idea was, quite interesting, and some people from academia, they formalized the idea in the paper PCNS 20. And they gave the name accumulation scheme. And in the next year, ECLMS 21st, that paper, they improved the accumulation scheme by split the queries. The computation we lift outside, from the circuit. They split them into two parts. The first part is called public part. Second is witness private part. But here is the interesting, most interesting thing actually is that because we split the queries into two parts, then use a smaller verifier size. Smaller, much smaller. From all of the verifier to the one. Verifier. So the verifier of the circuit is called accumulator verifier. Yeah, we can see. Okay, This is the picture of Nova. Looks scary, right? So I don't want to explain this picture right now. So just ignore this slide. And then the idea is actually that we can further minimize the verifier into a so-called from a cumulative verifier to a so-called folding verifier. So the verifier does tiny amount of work. So let's go through the folding scheme. The advantage of folding scheme first actually is there are only two MSM operations in the augmented circuit. In the folding verifier. So we also can do flexible preprocessing before this time. That means we can build a bunch of linear commutation or a tree-like commutation every day, different commutation together. And many people doing some research about using Nova to do, for example, ZPML, ZQBM, something like that. And Nova actually supports many of these marks for RNCS. For example, Martin, for example, Spartan. Yeah. So let's go from the RNCS. So RNCS, we talked before in the crash course that RNCS is a tuple of 4 elements: A, B, C, 3 matrices, and Z is assignment. Right? A, B, C is the decryption of a circuit, and Z is assignment of the values of signals to a circuit. And here Z is a tuple of 3 elements. First is the constant 1, second is X origin position, third is witness. All right, RNCS. Okay. The folding scheme, the basic idea actually is that if we have a fixed circuit, now we want to use a circuit with 2 instances, Z1 and Z2. Right? So now we just want to fold 2 instances together by just one random number from random oracle. Right. The folding algorithm kind of very simple. X star is the folded input, and W star is folded witness. We just do random elimination to do the folding, right? The folding kind of algorithm is simple. But unfortunately, folded assignment doesn't satisfy ABC vision. Right. Okay, so far, any question? Yeah, we can easily fold them together, but folded assignment is not a valid assignment. Okay, no question. So Nova proposed a very smart idea. Okay, if folded assignment is not a valid CS, doesn't satisfy our CS, but they can satisfy a relaxed CS. Actually, so we will relax the condition. So this is the relaxed set. A, B, C. And here are the different here are differences. First of all, there's the E, AE vector. 3 plus E. And you can see that there is a U, right? It's a coefficient, a single value. Right. The assignment now is not one x, it's U x star. U is like a counter, incremental counter, and for each folding, the U will plus 1 by 1 by 1, increasing. Right. Now we can modify the folding. Yeah, now we can just using the naive folding algorithm. But seeing that actually the two instances I1 and 2 here, they can fold folded into one instance, and the folded instance also satisfies the relaxed RSS, the equation. So what's E? Right, E term. The E term is for the cross terms, the cross term. Because we got a random number of Skype and Oracle, and we made a recommendation and multiply them together, then we can get a bunch of so we put all the previous cross term into one label or T. Yeah, then we can accumulate the T step by step into the E variable. So here the E variable does the dirty job. Yeah, but still the folded instance can satisfy the RSS, the kind of relaxed RSS. Right. But here there's a problem. In instance, the XUE, right? XUE, we add U for the counter and E as garbage cross term. But E contains T contains cross terms, but in cross terms, they are witnesses. So here's the problem because witness appears in the instance. Okay. That implies the fact that we have to we can build a folding verifier because folding verifier will check if the instance is folded, whether it is correct or not. But right now, the verifier must get the witness kind of conflict. Okay, so another patch. Patch to the Rex RSS, we call it a committed RSS. We need to introduce some commitment scheme we call here we can only use pairs or other because the peer commitments have two very good properties. The first one is additive homomorphic. Okay. Additive homomorphism is kind of very important in OVA because we fold something together. At the same time, we can fold two different commitments. So that means the commitment scheme must be additive homomorphic. Okay. Secondly, the commitment scheme must be succinct. Because we want to build a folding verifier as small as possible. Okay. here the idea actually is we modify this of the relaxed analysis. We put E into minute. Okay. Yeah, here we can see that it's kind of compression. E is a vector. Compress it into the O1 side. And also, W witness of our ancestors into we use a hat notation for minute. Yeah. So keep in mind that the Peterson commitment kind of very the key of the NOVA Folding scheme. Okay, right now we can easily fold two instances I1, J1, I2, J2. Okay, J here they mean the witness. I is instance. Okay, the folding process is kind of simple, like we showed before. It's a random linear combination. All right. So now trying to construct the recursive proof. So the first attempt. First time actually that is we first will build a incremental instance. For example, step by step, we do sequence of computation, and for each step, it can be viewed as a incremental instance and an incremental witness. We use both IJ, II, and JI as the incremental instance and incremental witness as the S step. And right now we also introduce another instance witness pair called random witness as the accumulator, collecting every instance at each step. Right. For the first step, we use R0, S0 to be folded by we fold I0, J0 into R. Then we got R1. Then for the second step of the completion, we fold I1, J1 into R1, S into R2, and all the way to R1, S. Okay, it's intuitive. Kind of intuitive, right? But it's not correct. Here the point is if we're doing the folding like this, so how can we ensure that the process is correct? We can, because the folding process actually they are dropped during the folding. During the foldings. Okay. Okay, here is okay. Now that you can understand, I think it's also clear. Right now we want to add something into the circuit, into the F commutation circuit as a folding verifiers. So folding verifier simply ensures that each step the folding process was correct. Then we can do the folding. Then we can do the next folding. Right. So here we can see that for this circuit, for the upper part F commutation, you have W-1, Z-1, we were doing regular within step outputs a ZI as the output of representation that accumulation we want to prove. But we also put a folding verifier. And the input of the folding verifier is the instance of the last step, the previous step. Folding them into a running instance. So we can say, and the sucker use actually the sucker of RNCS, right? It's immediately on the next RNCS. Yeah, for this RNCS, we can get another the next incremental instance. And offline, there is a new rule who use actually the real folding to fold the last incremental instance with the previous running into the new running instance. But the progress, the whole job of folding, we call it folding dot proving. And you can see the happy inputs of the folding tasks. They have to be put into folding verifier. The folding verifier just verify more amount of data to verify, okay, this folding process is correct. Right, then we move forward to the next step. Right, so kind of implementation right now. IIGI is the incremental instance and incremental witness of the last step. The last step consists of two parts. The first one, the representation is correct, and the second part is the folding is correct. And then for the n+1 step, still the folding verifier inside of SECBIT will verify the II with RI can be practically folded into IR. Okay, you can see actually there's two parallel tasks. The upper lines for verify the mutation, verify the lower line is for actually the real folding. Right. Okay, well, okay, there's an important issue here. Actually, we will go stop here because you can see that it's output of that circular, right? And output is all the input of all the input output of the public input output of the circular. That means I said why. Sorry, show you some error is smaller than but because their sizes are different. So that means we cannot at the next step merge them, fold them together because they have sizes. The RI should be smaller, less than I in this paragraph. Okay, there's a big issue. That means we cannot do this like recursive coding. We will go stop at the second step. Okay, the solution is solution kind of easy because to solve the size problem, size issue, we just use the hash inside the circuit. Because the output, all the output of the hashes, they are to each other. So usually we using two hashes for all the input from the last step, previous step, and all the user instance of the next step. So we will hash it and hash it. It's two hashes, HI and AHI. So right now, the you can see this, there's no side issue. All sets are equal from last the size from last step output equal to the size of input of the next step. All right. Now let's revisit the big picture of NOVA can do. Okay. In the lower line, the folding are just fold running instance with the incremental instance at each step for SECBIT documentation. And the circuit is for verification. Verify the notation set as well as the appearance of each of previous. Not only because of the current step, must be the previous one. Okay. So if the fold to the end, then we use this one. And the last that we have to do additional folding to fold the last incremental with the running into the final instance, and then we use start where relax ourselves to generate. Here in the NOVA paper, they use Spartan. These are used on sound check, but we can use many these are not only the Spartan. Okay. There's a lot of following work in the past month. Supernova proposed last year is for CKVM, ZKVM. In Supernova, because in the presentation in my slides, we showed a linear just a lines of accumulation. But in Supernova, for example, you will have a VM has an instruction set with size of 100. That can have 100 lines of accumulation. And for different instruction, we 100 lines of running instances. That means we have 100 running instances. And for each incremental instance, we just switch case of which instruction is and put them into the corresponding instance. So for example, if the VM has 100 size of instrument set, then in the final proof, we only have according to the 100. That means if now we can build a designated ZKVM with smaller instrument set, that will be much easier to generate the full truth. Right, but for example, scroll there ZKVM, they just doing a huge circuit size can be size is related to the size of traces within traces. But using supernova, for example, the next generation of ZKVM, this circuit was much smaller. Regardless the length of the interface. Second word is Sangeria. Sangria is for the Planck arithmetic case and a low degree of polynomial case. It's a research from geometry venture. And the third work is origami, proposed in the ZK last month. Origami is called the Planck local case. So I think Sangria and origami is, to a very bright future. Because right now a lot of things are really accomplished. So yeah, that those are showing that the possibility of we can build a Nova coding scheme into a low tool or system to dramatically improve the performance of proving. Okay, the first work to publish this work the day before yesterday by the same author of Nova. They claim that they support a new work, Mars. Multiple constraint system is a generalized version, generalized system, simultaneously supporting air function cell. It's so general and it's so exciting. So Hypernova, minimize the coding variable even more. There is only one MSM operation for the recursive. Okay, just the secret, the secret ingredient of Hypernova is some check, but I don't understand. And I'm reading that paper, but I am not get the idea. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Any question?
All right. So you found the executive side of so for this, it's the size constant.
Yes.
What's the
I think because we actually wanted to once in the end, doing some of these actually doing them once. The size of is just for the one context. So I think in the voting process, very cheap. We can fold. In the end, we can put it on once. We put it actually all fully. Yeah. So I think that not only the top of the Nova is the background. how to do their research. Very SECBIT have to recurse that we have some competition, right? We have to use 90 proof operation that I think that part is not that, here is not that part. Besides the ones for each part.
So the proving for the folding scheme is very cheap.
Yeah, because you don't have to tell it to our stack, you just open it there by using. Pull and pull that box.
And in the folding you had like you were adding the running instance and the incremental instance. So to make sure that they add together, you hash them. But is the hash function additive homomorphic because they have to be added?
Oh, no, okay, we don't have to use all the hash function there. Just use and the UDC or signal. I don't have that question for the city side of center, it's all the setting. So you can also put on that, you need to fix. That's all, because the things are under expansion.
So the additive homomorphic is only for the commitment.
Yeah. Commitment is, the idea from the split, community split, we all have PC minus yeah, so this basically the negative system that one also like that we make the verifier as model.
No, I use any.
Okay. No problem with no. In the end, you want to put the panel using this pair, you want to use some smart. That's smart to be. So no PC has the per second on this. But before we start, we aggregate it with all the many one, and then we do this. So there's no. But I don't know if there is one. Probably. Usually, use some other numbers. That they use.
Do you think any benefits when no other doctors is there any benefit?
I think okay. I think we can use it for a linear application. You don't have to do more. Because this can is very different example, multiple phenomenal something like 1 point or 1 phenomenal and multiple